First thing I'm going to do, this is one we're going to make. So we're going to do some real simple ones and one that's a little bit fancier. So I should probably start off by saying I was really looking for materials that you probably already have in the house so you don't have to go out shopping. Basically, what you need for it are paper lunch bags, work fine. You'll need some yarn or string, a stapler, and some markers if you want to decorate it. So we're going to get started with the first one, which is really a very, very simple one. And it's using the paper bag. And I think I'm going to use the white one because I think it'll show up a little bit better. The first thing you're going to want to do, and I'm going to just move this down so that you can see how I'm doing it more. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your bags, have them all go in the same direction. So I've got the little flap all at the same side and the same end, and then I'm going to fold them in half. Then just take your yarn or your string, stick it right down the center, and bring it around to the outside. I used about, I think it's maybe about 20 inches of yarn. Depends on what size your bag is, but then tie it. And if you have somebody there that can hold it so that it's somewhat tight, that's good. But I just tied mine in a knot so that it wouldn't come loose. And then take your stapler and you're going to just staple it along the edge there. So I used 4 staples. So get it in so you're not right on the edge, and then staple it down the side. Mechanical difficulties. And I think my stapler just ran out, but you get the idea. And one of the reasons why I like this, the yarn stays in there, it's in the fold, and you can also have a way to carry it. So then what you can do is you can decorate it using your markers. You can put your name on it, and you can go through and have pages for what I saw today. You can fold out that flap so you have a little bit larger area to draw pictures or take notes. And it's very, very simple. You can do it with a brown paper bag too. The pictures that you draw may not show up quite as easily, so you may want to put a cover on it and then take pieces of paper and glue them inside so that you can do your journaling. And journaling is not just writing down what you saw, but maybe what you felt, what you sensed, so what you smelled, what you saw, what you heard, all kinds of things go into your nature journal. So that's a very, very simple one, just made out of lunch bags. Now, if you wanted to take things a little bit bigger, we're going to make one that's using a large, I'm going to bring this up just a little bit, a big brown paper bag. Now, this is from Trader Joe's. I liked it because it says right on it, please recycle this bag. And the reason I thought of Trader Joe's bags, first of all, I love to go shopping there, but their bags have something that most bags from the grocery store don't. They have a handle, which makes it really easy to make a journal that you can carry around. So for this one, what you're going to do is turn the bag so that the flap is there, and you're going to cut right along where that flap line is. So you're going to cut off the bottom, just like this, cutting through all the layers. You're going to set that bottom aside because we'll use that later. So now you've got the outside of your bag, just the top part. Then you're going to need some paper. And I used both lined paper with the holes in it and just copy paper. And what I did was I laid those on top of the bag just to be sure of where I was going to want to have them positioned. I like having both of them in there. Again, as I said, you may want to write notes about what you saw when you're out, and you may also want to draw pictures. So that's why the plain paper is there. So What you're then going to do is take your bag and you're going to cut off each side. You've got some strips that you cut off and also the inside. Recycle that for something else. Then turn it over and do the other side. Just the now you've got two pieces. And because I don't want to be promoting Trader Joe's much as I love them, I'm going to put the words that are printed on it on the inside of my journal. So now I've got a blank brown journal. Then take your paper and you're going to need your hole punch. And this is, you can use a 3-hole punch if you've got one that's strong enough. I find just the single one is easier for me to use, plus that's what I had at home. So I'm going to line up my papers and I'm going to punch right through the hole that's already on the 3-ring hole paper that's lined, and just punch through there. Just like that. And then I'm going to position my paper on the brown paper bag, kind of centering it. And then I'm going to punch through again. But this time it's just going to be going through that brown paper bag. So that I can assemble it with a cover, the pages, and then the other cover. And then I'm going to just use some string this time. And I think I used maybe about 3 or 4 inches of string. And you need 3 pieces of it. And then you're just going to thread that through. And I found it easier to start in the center one. So thread it through the hole. And by doing the center one first, it kind of stays together. And tie it in a very loose knot because you want to be able to open and close your journal. So it's like that. And then take your other string on the other ends and just weave those through the same way. Thread it right through the holes that you made. Tie a loose knot. And then the last one. Now this is going to give you a larger journal, but it's easy to carry around. One other thing, we had the part that we were throwing away, which was the bottom of the bag. What you may want to do is just take it and cut it in half. So now you've got a pocket. And what I did was I taped it right inside the cover of my journal, like this.
Love it.
You can do it with duct tape, probably holds it better, but I only have Scotch tape here today, so I'm just going to use Scotch tape. Tape it to the inside of your cover. And it kind of will serve a dual purpose. Initially, I was thinking of it best for holding some of your materials, like your pencil or a pen. It's a nice, easy way to carry them around. But it's also a good place to stash some of the stuff that you might be picking up. So maybe some leaves that you found, any bark, any kind of plants that you might have. And then you can decorate it however you might want to. So you've got this very easy to carry journal. It opens up easily, folds back so that you can do your journaling, and you're all set to go.
Mary, that paper bag journal is fabulous. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love that it's got a pocket in it and it's got a handle. That is so great. And when you're talking about things that could go in that pocket, you know, you find a feather, you find a cool leaf. Also keeping something like a ruler, a small flat ruler is a great thing to have in your field journal too. So I love that.
So those are two very simple journals, and you could easily take it way beyond that to do something that's a little more elaborate, something more permanent. But I think that this is a really approachable craft for families to do together. And I think it'll be fun for them to take with them when they go out and explore.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. I think back to you, Alexis.
Yeah. So does anyone have any questions for Mary at all about the craft project?
No, I don't.
What's your question?
How in the world did you get all those materials in your house?
We have them.
Those things I had.
Yeah, but it's a lot of
Lunch
materials.
bags. I hate to say this, but my son is now 28, but I still have lunch bags left from when he was in school. We love going shopping at Trader Joe's, so I had that package there. I bet you have yarn or string or something else that you could tie it together. I bet you
We've
have
got
all those
everything.
things in your house, Leo.
We've
Yeah.
got it all.
Yeah,
Excuse me?
pretty much. We got some kind of thing. We got some kind of string stuff that we can use lots of them.
Yeah.
We don't know I don't know exactly if it's string or rope or something. I can't get some string from the couch, Mom, or some.
You're not
pillows
gonna,
or something.
no,
But
don't tear
I'm-
the pillows apart to get the string from them.
If you ask Mom or Dad, they'd find you some string.
Oof. That would be a problem because all the stuff that's inside the pillows would now be out
Right.
and all over the house. That would take a while to find every single little piece of it.
You're right,
A
Justin.
long while.
Okay. So I am going to show you how to use a very kid-friendly app called Seek. I don't know if any of you have ever used a smartphone before, but I am going to show you a very quick way to use this. You have?
Yes, I have. I have my very own. Oh, no, I
Nice.
use it a lot. But you also forgot a feature of Zoom. You forgot that you're able to change your name.
Yeah, you can change your name in Zoom. Right now I'm signed into the library's account, so I'm listed as Wood Library, but my name is actually Alexis. So I didn't want to change it because when anyone else logs into the library account, I don't want them to be Alexis.
What do you do?
Turn around the camera.
Why?
But so
No.
when you download the app for Seek, it's going to say Seek by iNaturalist, and this is a picture of what mine looks like that's already installed. So it's available on an Apple, so through Apple Store and through an Android phone. So it will look something like this on either device. And you're going to get a screen like this once you download it. And it's going to let you know that you can use Seek to identify plants and animals. That for children, you can also earn badges when you observe different types of species and things like that. And it'll give you history of different plants and animals. You're going to also get this screen as the next feature on there, and it's going to tell you that you can log in through iNaturalist, which is another app. You can either sign in or you continue without signing in. I would suggest that you continue without signing in. That's what I do when I log in. You do not have to sign up for anything. That's one of the beauties of using Seek. You do not need to sign in. You do not need an email address. You do not need anything. You can just sign up. You can just download it and sign in. It's going to ask for a device location. One of the beauties of this app is because it is child friendly, you can deny using a location. So you do not have to give out your location for this device.
That is very good because or else it would be a 100% no for me because
Right. You do
I would
not
not
have to
want
give out your
anybody
location.
knowing my exact location at all times. That could be pretty scary.
Right. You do not have to give anything your device's location. So you hit deny. In order for you to get started, you just hit continue, and it's going to give you some security features. It's going to tell you that you need to always be aware of your surroundings to stay safe and don't trespass. Just because you are taking pictures of nature, it does not want you to go anywhere that you do not belong or supposed to be. It does not want you to pick up and eat anything that you explore in the wild. And it wants you to respect other living things by not touching or disturbing things. Do not touch things, animals, anything like that, because it can sting or bite you. It does give reminders of this every time you log in to the Seek app. It wants you to be aware of your surroundings because things can happen. You're exploring nature and it wants you to be safe. This is another screen that's going to pop up once you log in. If you do not give your location, this top half will not pop up. I provided it with my location, so it told me all of the different species that might be in the Rochester area. It told me that there are common garter snakes located in Rochester, which I did not know.
I did. I have seen plenty of gardener snakes.
I have not, and I wanted to know exactly where those are, and I was like, I should just go into like a area and try to go look for them. It told me that there are painted turtles in Rochester.
Speaking of garter snakes, I actually saw one on a nature walk 1,000 days ago.
We're in Geneva a couple weeks ago
Hey,
on the Bishop's Gate Trail.
Oh, that's cool. And that would be like if you use the Seek app, you would take a picture of it and it would tell you what type of snake it is. It will specifically tell you like the history of it, its location, and if it's known to that area. And then on the bottom of it, it tells you like the challenges. And so every time you observe an animal, it gives you a badge, and you can earn a badge every time you do that. And so this is a video on like somebody using Seek and how you actually like would do it. So I'm gonna play that for you. So do you see on the right side how they take a picture and it tells like the name of it? So once you snap the picture, it will give you like the region, if it's located in Canada or like Rochester or anywhere that you can find the plant or animal. It'll explain to you like the history of the plant or animal, all the background behind it. And it immediately pops up and will identify it. But I mean, it does sometimes require you to get close to the plant or animal to take the picture. That's why it does give you the warning to be safe when you're taking pictures and things like that. So I will also suggest that you do have a parent present with you when you're out if you are going to use the app.
What if you are an adult?
What if you are an adult? Then I would suggest that you use caution even as an adult.
Oh, well, imagine if you still said that you still need a parent.
Yeah.
That would be funny. An adult. But that is kind of like an ad. And then talking all about it and all its features and stuff. That's kind of what an ad is.
Yeah. And now I will turn it over to Angela. If you have any questions for me about the CCAP at all, how to use it.
My question was going to be, what's the accuracy? Like how, I mean, it must have like a % error somewhere.
So
there's
it does.
So many plants. Yeah.
Depending on how far away you are in taking the picture, it'll let you know if you need to get closer.
Yeah.
So I tried to take a picture of a bird yesterday and it told me that it was a fish.
Well, right. I meant even like with the plants, the % accuracy would have to be, I mean, like, it's just, there's so many different types of wildflowers and weeds and plants. Like there must be. Yeah.
I mean, it does fairly well with locating it from my experience so far.
Cool.
That it kind of automatically searches and pulls up and it looks exactly like the picture.
Oh, does it do fungi? Does it do mushrooms?
I haven't found any.
That's another whole complicated kingdom. Well, yeah, maybe I should just take a minute and talk a little bit about what the field journaling sessions are going to be starting next week. And I could leave you with a little activity this week, although you have to get started on making your journal. So I've been keeping field journals for years. And each week, what I really want to start with is some sort of prompt that is going to be observation focused. I want you to be really aware of your surroundings. I want to deepen your nature awareness prowess out there, as well as your deepening your relationship with the natural world. And to do that, I'm going to have you have some sort of prompt activity where you're just going to sit for a few minutes in whatever area you've decided to explore. Maybe it's just your own backyard, and do a short observation activity. So it's not going to be just sit and look, but I'm going to actually give you something that you have to do while you're sitting there and think about. So that'll be for the first few minutes of your field journaling day. And that'll be something that you'll write down or you'll see it in the email. And then I'm going to do and assign you sort of an exercise to do for that day or that week. And each week will be a different theme. Next week will be contours and diagrammic drawing, like really getting to know a plant, really getting to know a fish or an insect, a bug. Another week will be creating a postcard of your scene and then doing some pullouts, including text as well as drawing. And that'll be also including some exercises like some how do I draw a bird? Like, how do I get started? How do I figure out how to, well, there's too much shine there, sorry. How do I figure out how to draw a bird, right? How can I make paints out of just rocks and soil that I found on the ground? How can I add color? How can I do gesture drawings that show activity of the animals and really record what I'm seeing? And I'm not sure that this is showing up too well. Maybe this one will show up better. It's a little bit darker. So recording, how do I record the natural world around me? And the most important thing that I'm going to say for all of your field journals is when you go to get started, put down the date. I have stacks of field journals, and sometimes I have to really flip through and look for the year. What year did I record this date? So put down the full date. Today is May 17th. Today, May 17th? May 17th, 2020. Include 2020. Because if you want to go back, if anybody wants to ever use your journals for scientific purposes, or if you want to record, like, when does the first daffodil rise? When did I first see a hummingbird at my property? So I make sure I get the hummingbird feeder out in time. You can go back through your journals and see the dates. So include your date, the location of where you are. Are you high up in the Himalaya mountains? Are you in the Finger Lakes of New York? Are you in Costa Rica? Because Seek probably will sometimes give you something that won't make sense to your location. So you need to know your location. And then any other pertinent information like the weather. What is the weather that day? Is it cloudy? Is it rainy? Is it snowing? What is the temperature? So date, location, and weather. If you really love data, if you love recording things, and I do, you might want to put down the phase of the moon. You could record that. You could record, what's going on with the season, the barometric pressure, all the dew point, all sorts of different things, the amount of rainfall that was recorded last night. So you can record as much as you want, but most important is the date and the location. A little bit about the weather is helpful. So after that, your page is your blank canvas for writing, for recording, writing down things that you saw, things that you felt. I loved, Mary gave that wonderful reminder that the journal is also not just what you see, but all your other senses as well, including what you're feeling and what you're thinking, and especially what you are wondering about. Write down those questions. I wonder why those two birds are behaving the way they are, or why they're chasing that other bird. Writing down the things you wonder about makes you even more of a scientist. And it makes you a curiosity-driven person too. So use your journals for that type of exploration, because journaling is not just about the world out there. It's kind of some inner journeying too. And I love that part of journaling. So does anybody want a prompt or a first activity to work on over this next week?
Yeah.
Okay. So your mission for this week, I invite you to do something called a sound map. So you're going to find a spot in your yard where you can sit quietly and observe around you a little bit, but sit down until you feel like all the birds have gotten used to you being there and everybody's doing their own thing. And I want you to do a sound map. So in the example of this little one I have here, this is me in the center, because a sound map can be words, it can be pictures, whatever you want. This next ring around me is where I can see just the edges of my yard, the edges of my view. A little bit farther out are things I can barely see, and even if I can't see them, I can still hear them. So on your sound map, every time you hear a sound, you can put an X, or you can put what it sounded like, or what you know it was. But every time you hear a sound around you, make a little mark, draw a picture. Maybe it's a car. You can't see the car, but you definitely know the sound of a car. You could draw a car, or just write, car traffic. You hear ravens, you hear a dog barking. Just start tuning in to all of those sounds. and create your own sound map of your environment. If you really want to take it an extra step, you can then get up and explore and make it into a real map, a map of like a favorite tree on your property. You're going to mark, you know, here's the willow tree that I like to climb, or here's a special little patch of the garden where I like to build fairy houses, and you could put that on your map. So creating this sound map that morphs into your space that you share with so many other things, a favorite flower, a favorite tree, birds, a groundhog that lives right behind the garden, but don't tell mom and dad, right? Because it's gonna eat everything. So whatever you want to put on your sound map after that. But make sure you take time to tune in first and really listen to what's in your surroundings. And then you can show me next week. Everybody could bring their sound map and show me, this is what I did, and this is the journal I made or the journal I used, and here's my little sound map. Does that sound like a plan?
No. You know why?
What's that, kiddo?
I live in an apartment right next to Wegmans.
Oh,
Got
Wegmans.
cars, and the horns and the police sirens, and they're going to be going on.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what else Wegmans has right around it? Wegmans has trails and the lake and wetlands. So if you might be surprised what you can hear. You might be surprised. Will you take it on as a challenge? See what else you can hear besides traffic.
Separates the apartment the apartment I live in Wegmans is like 2 feet of trees. That's all. I don't think that would be a lot of nature, huh?
Oh, I don't know. I think you might be surprised what you could find. And there's a lot of life in just a spoonful of soil or just a little patch of grass or a tree. So I am pretty excited about the challenge for you to listen and find.
That means I don't have a property.
You know,
Nature's everywhere.
It's the landlord's property.
Yeah. Aww. Nature is everywhere. If you could go downtown Rochester and look at the cracks in the sidewalk, and trust me, there's nature popping up everywhere. We are not apart from nature. Another question.
Actually, I'm a nature scientist, so now it's mostly comments about nature.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think it's for questions.
Go ahead. Do you have a question?
Well, it's mostly comments because I know a lot about nature.
Oh, do you? A wonderful we have young naturalists in our group.
Same here.
So,
you know why? I have a plant journal and an animal journal. I've made both of those years ago.
oh my gosh, I love it.
For a while. That's why I thought it's a task, because I wouldn't need to make one because I already have one. Actually,
Sure.
two. One is for all animals and the other is for all plants. With the plants, I take off a little bit of it too and put it in. So then I can identify it by
Wonderful. Well, you friends are giving me some more ideas too. I think we're going to have to do some smash art in our journals at some point.
like what?
You know.
I'll tell you later.
Taking a muddy rock and smashing it against paper.
Heard of it?
Because that's also how you color using rock and soil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lily, do you?
You know, there's a forest. It's just a couple miles away from my backyard, and maybe and maybe not too far in it. There's some creatures that make some really loud sounds that I may be able to put on my sound map.
Oh my gosh, yeah, if your mom goes with you, for sure. That sounds great.
And when I go up, I even want to go in it and explore it.
Yeah, I love exploring the woods. I usually go out at 4 o'clock every day and go explore the woods. I don't know what time it is yet.
You've got 20 minutes.
Oh, darn.
And then it'll be 4 o'clock.
Lily, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. And there's McCormick. Anybody else?
And Meg.
And Meg. Oh, right, there's a picture. Meg, do you have any questions?
No, thank you so much. This has been great.
Super. Well, I'm really looking forward to the next 3 weeks of doing some nature awareness deep challenges and some drawing and sketching and journaling exercises with everyone. So I guess we can just tune in next week and bring whatever you did with your sound map, yard map,
You know,
outside the window map.
I better go make my sound map and my journals now. Bye.
Bye. Yeah,
Bye,
you got a lot to
Nice
do.
See you. Bye,
You
Michelle.
got a lot to do.
Bye. It was good to see you.
Thank you everyone for
Oh
tuning
yeah, he
in.
wants me to help him. Bye.
Yep, you've got a lot to do now too.
I don't. Do you know why?
Oh, why, kiddo?
Because my sound map, cars honking, cars honking, cars honking, police sirens, cars honking. I literally live right next to Wegmans, and yeah, that and because of the quarantine, people have just been going crazy.
Are you able to tune out the car sounds? Are you ever able to like tune them out and see if there's any other sounds around?
What I'm trying to say is all the car sounds scare away all the animals, making it so there is no animals to listen to.
Do you have anyone that can take you for a walk away from the parking area?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be pretty nice if you could there's so many like beautiful little wetlands right around Wegmans there and the lake. Maybe you could get to the park or something.
What park?
What's the one?
Kershaw.
Kershaw. Mm-hmm. Kershaw.
And then there's the lagoon too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's
neat things in there. Really neat things.
I bet.
I live in Crown Oak Drive, so yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry that you are next to a parking lot. And I lived in an apartment once right next to a parking lot. I feel your pain.
I've been living in this place since I was 1.
Oh,
I kind of gotten used to it.
well, good.
Just
I
like
get
getting used to like 0 animals.
I
Yeah,
bet you can.
like, once in a lifetime, a deer comes by. One single deer.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of
birds.
birds and squirrels. I bet too.
Yeah.
I have not seen a single squirrel.
Well, take a look this week. You never know. You might see one.
Yeah, we're gonna help you tune in. Don't you worry. We're gonna help you tune in and tune out some of the other stuff. Anyway, I wish everybody a wonderful rest of your day, and really looking forward to talking again.
Monday.
And yeah, and thanks so much for coming and for Mary's beautiful creative journal ideas and for Seek.
Can't wait to see what your journals look like if you make one this week.
What if they're already made?
Then I can't wait to see it next time.
When there's stuff in it.
And plus, I do not have any lunch bags.
Well, you might be.
My mom always uses
Adventure some and see what you can find to make a journal out of.
I already have a plant journal. And
Okay,
I
then
didn't-
you're all set.
The animal journal, I just draw sketches of what I see. In my plant journal, I take stuff off the plants and put them into it.